In this chapter, we will learn how to import and export data in R. As mentioned earlier, R takes the lead in analytics by supporting various types of formats from SAS, SPSS, SQL, Excel, Twitter API, and so on. With the given sample of data formats, R have various methods with unique features for every scenario to read those into R. Here are some of the commonly used methods to read data in R. Scan read.table, read.delim, read.csv, read.csv.sql, fread, and so on. Let's learn each of their unique features in detail. Number 1 is scan function. Scan reads the data into a vector or a list. For example, to scan a CSV file, define the CSV file name, then the feature reach parameters like what is equal to what to scan, SEP is equal to delimiter that separates the line, skip to skip the number of rows, and more. Number 2 is read.table, which reads a file in a table format and creates a data frame from it. Apart from having the same scan parameters, it has a way to identify the header, that is the column names in the dataset. Then load the string variables without converting them into factors. To see the differences between the string as factors is equal to true and false, load the data twice, before and after string as factors is equal to true and false. We will see how the data is identified by R and store. And this file.choose is just a function where R will give the option to browse and locate the physical file. Else, it loads the file from the R working directory, that is getwd. Don't worry, we will have all these functions in our lab video. As of now, I would suggest to take notes of the syntax and the parameters of functions that will help us to correlate during our lab sessions. Read.delim function is a default function to read a tab delimited file. However, we can still use it to read comma-separated file, that is the CSV file. It is just a wrapper function of the read.table. Read.csv is again a default function, mostly to read a CSV file. Readlines is a bit different from the previous two. It reads the entire row or all the text lines from a connection, that is a file or the file's web URL, as line. It also comes with different parameters, like n refers to the maximum number of lines to read, OK, warn, a logical parameter that warns if a text file is missing or embedded nulls in the file, encoding to identify the format of the lines, and then skip null, a logical parameter including nulls to skip or null. Now R identifies missing values in different ways. For example, in a numeric data type, empty spaces will be considered as missing values, and NA for character variables. R also identifies formats like NaN, INF, -INF as empty or missing values. If the data have different format other than those, R also provides options to refer a missing value or empty values using na.strings. Some of the special parameters that we might encounter in our day-to-day analysis are strip white is equal to true, to identify extra white spaces in a character strings, blank line skip, to ignore the blank lines, fill is equal to true, to identify if there are any unequal length of rows, and for identifying comments, use comment.car, that is comment.character. Next, we will learn how to export our analysis or any data from our objects into a CSV or any delimited value file.